call this meeting of the Election Contest Committee to order. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Representative Holt.
Here.
Representative Jacobson.
Here.
Representative Myers. Here. Representative Winchell.
Here.
Representative Wolf.
Here.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Stephen Holt, Chair of the House Judiciary Committee and Chair of this committee. Joining me on this committee today are Representative John Jacobson, Brian Meyer, Matt Winchell, and Ranking Member Gary Wolf. Our first order of business today is adoption of the rules. These have been electronically transmitted, and a correction was transmitted as well because in this number. Representative Wolf let me know that. Is there discussion on the rules? Will they be adopted?
Oh, I'm sorry. Some discussion or... Yeah, sorry. I didn't know first. You know what? If I could gather my thoughts, and if you wouldn't mind letting
Representative Meyer.
So, is it your intention to have witnesses called in this matter?
As I discussed with Representative Wolf, and my intention is that we will make that determination after the second meeting when we further oral argument.
Is it your intention to have evidence presented?
My intention is to hear the oral arguments and make a decision after that as to whether we will have witnesses based upon the second meeting and the oral argument.
My concern with the rules is very simple, which is I'm coming into this fresh.
Right.
I don't know anything about what's going on before this. In my mind, there's only one thing that matters. When the ballots are on time, if those ballots were in on time, they be counted by state law. Failure to do so disenfranchises voters. I don't know, based on what the arguments of the lawyers are going to be, unless I see evidence. I haven't seen the ballot. I haven't seen the contested ballots. I haven't heard from the auditor. I haven't heard from the county attorneys, anybody, any of the witnesses that may or may not have been presented. I'm coming into this fresh too. And so I would object to the rules unless we have a specific rule that states we are going to hear testimony, we are going to see evidence, we are going to have a process that's fair in this matter. Until I see something like that, I'm going to object to the rule.
So, Representative Wolf, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Representative Holt. Yeah, and I apologize. You did provide me with the rules early today, and I think I only just recently grasped that there was no guarantee of a hearing at which evidence would be presented, and that perhaps under these rules we would just have basically statements by the attorneys on Wednesday, and at that point, if a majority of the committee members chose to call the vote, then we'd be done without any testimony. And so I just think it's important to note that arguments on evidence, it is our job to review the evidence and then make a determination. And I would really appreciate if you would consider amending the rules to agree to or set out at least one meeting after Wednesday's oral arguments at which the parties could exercise their statutory right to call witnesses and to allow us to talk to the witnesses and hear from the people with the first-hand knowledge in person. So if you would agree to that amendment, I would support these rules, vote yes. If not, I think Representative Meyer and I will be a no. Thank you.
Understood. And I'm not going to amend the rules. I think what you and Representative Meyer said very, very seriously about the importance of witnesses. Thank you. So I think at that point, any other discussion? So we'll call the roll on the adoption of the rules.
Representative Holt.
Aye.
Representative Jacobson. Aye. Representative Meyer.
No.
Representative Winchell.
Aye.
Representative Wolf.
No.
Thank you. So the rules have been adopted. This committee was formed to hear the contest of candidate Kayla Cater in the House District 55 election that was held November 6th. The other candidate in this election is Michael Bergen. In her second contest, candidate Cater is asking the House to perform three actions. Number one, open and count the 29 ballots in question. Number two, recanvass the House District 55 election. And number three, recertify the House District 55 election. As a matter of reality, the first question decides the second and third action. So the issue before this committee is to make a recommendation to the full House as to whether the 29 ballots in question should be opened and counted. The citizens of Iowa expect elections to be fair and lawful. And in this matter before us today, our fellow citizens expect this issue to be decided fairly according to the law and without regard to party affiliation. That is exactly what this committee will endeavor to do. At our second committee meeting this Wednesday, January 16th at 4 p.m. in this same location, the attorney for each side will present their arguments in this contest. Each side has agreed to 30 minutes for oral arguments to present their arguments, with each side getting then 15 minutes of rebuttal time. Ms. McCorley, the attorney for the contestant, Kayla Cater, will go first, followed by the attorney for Michael Burden, Mr. McDermott. Both sides will first present their arguments, and then rebuttals will be given. The order of rebuttals will be the same as the order of the arguments that are presented. It has also been agreed to that each committee member will be given 15 minutes for questions and observations, so long as those questions and observations pertain to the issue before us. Visual aids may be used by committee members during questioning, so long as they pertain to the question before us. Visual aids to be used by committee members must be approved by the committee chair in consultation with Representative Wolf, and they need to be submitted for consideration to be by noon on Wednesday, January 16th. The questions and discussion must closely adhere to the only issue that is before this committee, should the 29 ballots be opened and counted. During the second meeting, when arguments by the two attorneys are presented, there will be no witnesses. We will hear the opening arguments, or the oral arguments. Visual aids will be allowed, and both attorneys must submit their briefs, and we've discussed this, and list of visual aids to LSA by noon Wednesday, January 16th. This will allow for the committee to review them prior to the 4 p.m. meeting, and they'll also be posted online as well for the public. This has also been agreed to by the parties involved. Whether there is need for a third committee meeting and witnesses will depend upon the oral arguments presented on Wednesday, January 16th, and the consensus of the committee. However, I do understand what Representative Meyer and Representative Wolf have stated here. As is precedent in election contest committees, once a majority of the members can answer the questions before us, we will produce a report to be voted on by the committee, to be voted on by the full House. If passed by the committee, and then the report goes to the House and is voted on by the full House, and then this committee's work will be done. If the majority of the committee determines that a third meeting is warranted, attorneys will be asked to submit their list of witnesses with justification as to how their testimony would help this committee arrive at a conclusion to the question before us. I will then decide in consultation with other committee members on the list of witnesses to testify. It is my expectation that respect and appropriate decorum will always be maintained. Interruptions by those in attendance will not be tolerated. And obviously, I do not anticipate in any way that this will be an issue, but it is necessary that everyone understands the rules. This committee will be transparent, deliberate, and efficient in arriving at a recommendation we are charged to make to the full House. And I will work with Representative Wolf just as closely as I can as we go through the steps of this process. At this time, Representative Wolf, would you like to make a statement?
Thank you, Representative Holt, briefly. So, I appreciate the opportunity to serve on this committee. We have an extremely important question before us as to whether or not we allow 29 votes, whether or not we allow 29 citizens who followed all of the rules and sent their ballots in within the deadline, whether or not they are going to have their votes counted. I do have concerns about how we can hear the contest without hearing any evidence. But again, my hope is that after the oral arguments, perhaps all of the members will have specific issues or questions that they would like the opportunity to ask people with actual first-hand knowledge of the issue before us, as opposed to the attorneys who, I'm a big fan of attorneys, but I also know they are paid to sell a position, and that is why normally in a court of law, and I realize this isn't that, but normally witnesses are required to come in and testify to what the evidence actually is. So I look forward to hearing the oral arguments. I also, I know that in the code 57.5, it does indicate that the parties to any contested election shall have the right in open session of the court or tribunal trying the contest in the presence of the officer having them in custody to have the ballots opened, and all errors of the precinct election officials in counting or refusing to count ballots corrected. So at a minimum, this does appear to give the parties to a contested election the right to have the ballots opened. I don't know if that's something that we would do in this committee, or if it would be something that would be handled on the floor in chambers during debate. But either way, I look forward to having that take place. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Representative Wolf. Our next committee meeting, as I previously noted, will be this Wednesday, January 16th at 4 p.m. in this same location. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and have a great hour. you're willing to make the choice